The massive alien ship appeared near Neptune without warning. It simply winked into existence, its smooth silver hull reflecting the distant sun. Earth's military went on high alert. Missiles were readied, fighter jets scrambled. For 3 days, the vessel maintained its position, broadcasting a simple message in all Earth languages. We come in peace. We wish to meet. Lieutenant Samantha Wright stood in the shuttle bay of the USS Defender, her heart pounding against her ribs. As part of Earth's first contact team, she had trained for this moment for years, but no simulation could prepare her for meeting actual aliens. Beside her, Dr. Alan Peters fidgeted with his tablet, reviewing xenobiology notes that were mostly guesswork. Nervous? Samantha asked. Alan smiled weakly. Terrified. Everything I've studied might be completely wrong. Captain Frank Miller approached them, his weathered face serious. Remember, you represent all of humanity. Be respectful, but stay alert. We still don't know their intentions. The small diplomatic vessel detached from the Defender, carrying Samantha, Alan, and 3 other specialists toward the massive alien ship. As they approached, a seam appeared in the silvery hull, widening into a docking bay that swallowed their shuttle with room to spare. Their technology is at least 2 centuries ahead of ours, whispered communications expert Lisa Reeves. When the airlock opened, Samantha's first impression was of light, soft blue illumination that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Then she saw them. 3 slender beings glided toward the humans. They walked on 2 legs but looked nothing like people. Their bodies were thin, almost fragile, with grayish-blue skin that seemed to shimmer. Each had 4 arms and large eyes that took up most of their oval faces. Welcome, Earth representatives, said the tallest alien, its voice melodic and perfectly accented English. I am Ambassador Zelith of the Viridian Alliance, a coalition of 7 sentient species who have maintained galactic peace for over 3,000 years. Samantha stepped forward. Lieutenant Samantha Wright of Earth. We are honored by this historic meeting. The aliens led them through corridors that seemed to adjust their size as they walked. Samantha noticed small drones following them, scanning their bodies with thin beams of light. Please forgive the monitoring, said Zelith. We must ensure our environments are compatible. Your species is unusual to us. They entered a circular chamber where 4 more alien species waited. One resembled a tall insect, another looked like a floating jellyfish. The third was a reptilian biped, and the 4th reminded Samantha of a furry octopus. The Viridian Council welcomes Earth, announced Zelith. We have watched your development with great interest. Dr. Peters cleared his throat. You've been observing us? For several of your centuries, said the insect-like being. We monitor all developing worlds. Yours has progressed remarkably quickly. The meeting continued for hours. The aliens explained their alliance, their faster-than-light technology, and their interest in welcoming Earth into their community. But Samantha noticed how they kept returning to questions about human physiology and history. During a break, Alan approached her, keeping his voice low. Notice how fragile they all are? Their muscle density is maybe 1/3 of ours, and they seem amazed by our endurance. Samantha nodded. Earlier, she had mentioned her hobby of running marathons, and the aliens had reacted with disbelief. Continuous movement for 4 hours, Zelith had asked, without rest or mechanical assistance? When Samantha confirmed this was common among humans, the council members had exchanged meaningful glances. As the tour continued, the jellyfish-like alien, who introduced itself as Scholar Myth, floated beside Alan. Your cellular repair mechanisms fascinate us. You heal from injuries that would be fatal to most council species. We consider our healing rather slow, Alan replied. You regrow skin, heal bone, and replace blood, said Myth. Most species can do one of these, if any. Later, when their human group was allowed a moment alone, Lisa shared her observations. They're scared of us. Did you see how they reacted when Security Officer Benson mentioned our military history? Benson nodded. Just mentioned the length of time humans have engaged in warfare. They acted like I described some horror story. Their species evolved in safer environments, Alan theorized. They never developed our fight-or-flight responses or our physical endurance. After 12 hours of meetings, the humans returned to their shuttle with promises of future diplomatic relations. As they departed, Samantha caught a glimpse of several council members gathered around a holographic display of human anatomy. Back on the Defender, debriefing lasted until dawn. Admiral Chen listened to their reports with growing concern. They view us as potential threats, Samantha concluded. Not because of our technology, we're primitive compared to them, but because of our biology. What's normal for us seems superhuman to them. Or dangerous, added Alan. They kept asking about our aggressive tendencies. I think they see us as unpredictable. The Admiral frowned. Yet they want an alliance? Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer, said Benson. They're studying us. Over the next week, diplomatic exchanges continued. Earth leaders were excited by the technological possibilities, while military advisors remained cautious. The Viridian Alliance offered knowledge and galactic community, membership in exchange for cultural exchange and resource trade agreements. What they didn't reveal to Earth was the emergency council meeting taking place on their vessel. The humans possess all the physical traits of the war gods from the ancient texts, Zalith told the gathered representatives. Superior strength, remarkable endurance, rapid healing, and aggressive response patterns. But they show restraint and curiosity, argued Myth. They are not monsters, the reptilian counselor hissed softly. Neither were the war gods, until they were threatened. These humans have spent their entire history fighting themselves. Their entertainment glorifies combat. Their children play at warfare. Yet they create art, music, and pursue knowledge, countered Zelith. The texts are clear, said the insect-like counselor. When the dormant gods awaken to their full potential, worlds burn. We must decide. Do we embrace them as allies and guide their development, or do we contain the threat now, before they spread among the stars? The council chamber fell silent as the ancient warning glowed on their display. Beware the species born of conflict, who carry within them the seeds of destruction and creation. In peace they slumber. In war, they become, as gods pray they never awaken. 5 years passed since first contact with the Viridian Alliance. Earth changed rapidly. Space stations orbited the planet. Alien technology improved human lives. People traveled to other worlds for work and adventure. The galaxy opened up to humanity like a blooming flower. Jack Monroe wiped sweat from his forehead as he tightened bolts on a support beam. The space station Harmony floated near Alpha Centauri, built by a mix of alien and human workers. As a construction worker from Cleveland, Jack never imagined he would help build stations in space. Humans always finish tasks so quickly, said Grell, a 6-limbed alien working nearby. How do you maintain such output? Jack shrugged. Just doing my job. The aliens always seemed amazed by normal human abilities. Last month, when Jack worked a 16-hour shift during an emergency, his alien co-workers treated him like some kind of hero. They needed rest breaks every 3 hours. Humans were in high demand for physical jobs across Alliance space. A loud crack echoed through the station. The floor shook. Warning lights flashed red. Structural failure in Section 8, shouted a voice over the communication system. Jack and the other workers rushed toward the danger. They found chaos. A support beam had snapped. The whole section was starting to collapse. Aliens rushed to evacuate. Without thinking, Jack ran under the falling structure. He braced his shoulders against the main beam and pushed upward with all his strength. Metal groaned, his muscles burned. But he held the weight. "Get everyone out," he yelled. For 9 minutes, Jack held up the collapsing section while 23 workers escaped. When rescue teams arrived, they found him still standing, though. His body shook with effort. Later, doctors treated him for 3 broken ribs, a dislocated shoulder, and torn muscles. News of Jack's actions spread across 3 star systems. Aliens couldn't understand how a being could function with such injuries. Videos of the incident were watched billions of times. Some alien religious groups began calling humans the enduring ones. In Geneva, Patricia Hernandez walked the halls of the Earth Embassy to the Alliance. As Earth's main diplomat, she dealt with the growing relationship between humanity and the galactic community. Today she frowned at the document on her screen. "They rejected our request again," she told her assistant Ryan. "No human colonies allowed in the Rigel sector." Ryan sighed. "That's the third expansion request denied this month." Patricia noticed a pattern forming. The Alliance welcomed human workers but limited human settlements. They shared some technology but held back military and propulsion advances. When questioned, they offered diplomatic excuses about development timelines and cultural integration periods. That evening, Patricia attended a reception at the Alliance headquarters. She spotted Ambassador Zelith speaking with other council members and approached. "Ambassador, we need to discuss the restrictions placed on human expansion," she said directly. Zelith's large eyes blinked rapidly. "Restrictions? We merely suggest appropriate development paths. Paths that keep us contained to 20 systems, while other species have hundreds." The reptilian counselor Sorth joined them. "Your kind advances unusually quickly. Too much growth creates instability." "We've followed every Alliance regulation," Patricia countered. "Indeed," said Zelith smoothly. "And we value humanity's contributions greatly. Your physical capabilities make you exceptional assets." The conversation left Patricia unsettled. The way Zelith said assets bothered her. She began researching historical records of other species' integration into the Alliance. None faced the same limitations as humans. Meanwhile, in a secure facility, on the Alliance capital world, a group called the Guardians of Serenity held an emergency meeting. High Observer Zelith addressed the gathered members. "The human situation grows concerning," said Zelith, his four arms moving in patterns expressing worry. "Their population in space has doubled in 5 years. Their adaptation to new environments exceeds all models." Another Guardian displayed images of human achievements. Construction workers lifting loads no other species could manage, miners working in conditions others found unbearable, athletes performing feats that seemed impossible. "Most troubling is this," said the Guardian, showing footage of military training on Earth. "They continue to train for war despite living in peace." High Observer Zelith moved to a sealed container. Inside lay an ancient tablet covered in symbols. The prophecy of the ancients speaks of the slumbering destroyers who carry the rage of creation within their cells. The description matches humans precisely. "What do you propose?" asked a Guardian. "Containment protocols," Zelith replied. "We must limit their technology access, prevent their expansion, and begin studying their weaknesses. If they truly are the dormant gods of war, we must ensure they never awaken." Back on Earth, Admiral Chen met with world leaders in a secure, underground facility. Patricia Hernandez had shared her concerns about Alliance restrictions. "We've detected increased surveillance of our military installations," the Admiral reported. "Alliance ships constantly monitor our space traffic. Something has changed in their attitude toward us." President Harris nodded gravely. Patricia reports the same from diplomatic channels. They smile and talk of friendship, but their actions suggest fear. "They should fear us," said General Martinez. "Our soldiers are stronger and more resilient than any Alliance species. If conflict came, we don't want conflict," interrupted the President. "But we can't ignore the signs, begin quiet preparations, increase our hidden fleet construction, develop technologies they haven't shared. We must be ready if their fear turns to aggression." On Mars Colony, Dr. Alan Peters led a research team studying alien biology. 5 years of data showed remarkable differences between humans and Alliance species. He called Samantha Wright, now a commander, to share his findings. "The Alliance evolved in environments with fewer predators and natural disasters," he explained. "Their stress responses are limited. What we consider normal, adrenaline rushes, fight-or-flight reactions, pain tolerance, they see as terrifying abilities. So when we push through pain or work without sleep," Samantha began. "To them it's like watching gods walk among mortals," Alan finished. and their historical texts mention a warrior species that nearly destroyed the galaxy eons ago. I think they're beginning to believe that's us. That night, in his private quarters, Alan discovered a hidden file in the Alliance database. It contained an ancient star map with Earth's location marked. The file was titled, Birthplace of the Ao, War Gods Monitoring Station Reports. The file was dated 300 years before humans launched their first satellite. The secret Alliance research station orbited a dead moon in an unnamed system. Inside its walls, scientist Vril studied the human test subjects with a mix of fear and wonder. The subjects lay in separate chambers, connected to machines that measured every aspect of their biology. Increase pain stimulus on subject 9, Vril instructed his assistant. On the monitor, the human male gritted his teeth as the pain level doubled. His vital signs spiked, then stabilized. He remained conscious. Remarkable, said Vril. Any other species would be unconscious at half this level. These humans not only endure but adapt. Their pain tolerance increases with exposure. His assistant checked another screen. Subject 12 has been without sleep for 62 hours. Brain function remains at 87% capacity. Vril made notes on his tablet. The High Observer would be pleased with these results, though they confirmed their worst fears. Humans were indeed different from all known species. Their capacity for endurance, for suffering, and most worryingly for fighting through conditions that would disable any rational being, suggested they were built for war. When the transport vessel New Horizon disappeared on its way to Colony 7, the official report blamed a stellar anomaly. 143 humans, including 28 children, were listed as lost. Earth received condolences from the Alliance Council. Lieutenant Commander Gregory Lewis didn't believe it for a second. Sitting in his office at Space Force headquarters, he reviewed the data for the 5th time. The course deviation happened before the supposed anomaly, he told his team. Someone altered their flight path. Communications specialist Olivia Rodriguez nodded. I found fragments of a transmission not in our standard channels. It was directed at the New Horizon right before they changed course. Former intelligence officer Nathan Campbell studied the star chart. If they continued on this new heading, they would reach this system. He pointed to an unmarked area. There's nothing officially there. Then that's where we're going, Gregory decided. Using a civilian transport and false identifications, Gregory's team traveled to the coordinates. What they found shocked them. A research station hidden from all official records. Life signs? Gregory asked as they approached in stealth mode. 141 human signatures, Olivia confirmed, plus about 30 alien life forms. Gregory's jaw tightened. They took our people. For what? The rescue mission began at ship's midnight. Nathan led the infiltration team through an emergency airlock. They moved silently through the station, stunning alien guards before they could raise alarms. They found the human captives in research pods connected to machines. Gregory's team worked quickly to disconnect them safely. Most were unconscious but alive. These readings, said Olivia, checking a research terminal. They've been testing human limits, pain thresholds, endurance, healing rates, combat responses. They're studying us like weapons. A security alert blared through the station. Guards rushed toward the research section. Nathan positioned himself at the corridor junction. Get our people to the ship, he told Gregory. I'll hold them off. For 7 minutes, Nathan stood against a dozen guards. Though armed with only a stun pistol against their advanced weapons, he disabled 8 before a plasma burst caught him in the chest. He fell as Gregory returned to help. Man down, Gregory called. He dragged Nathan's body back to the ship as Olivia provided covering fire. Once aboard with all rescued humans, they fled the station. Nathan lay in the medical bay, his uniform burned away, chest blackened from the plasma hit. He's gone, said the medic sadly. Gregory placed a hand on his friend's shoulder. He died saving them. Nathan gasped suddenly, his back arching. Everyone jumped back in shock. That's impossible, whispered the medic. His heart was completely stopped. Over the next 6 hours, as the ship raced back toward Earth space, Nathan's body began to heal itself. Damaged tissue regenerated at rates the medics had never seen. By the time they reached the hidden Earth base on Europa, Nathan was conscious and asking for water. Word of the rescue spread through classified channels. President Harris viewed the medical records with Earth's top military officials. "They took our people to experiment on them," she said, her voice cold with anger. "They've been lying to us from the beginning." Admiral Chen showed her another report. "We've detected Alliance warships changing positions. They're surrounding our colonies." Meanwhile, video of Nathan's miraculous recovery leaked throughout Alliance space. Panic spread among alien populations as they watched footage of a human healing from a wound their medical science considered fatal. High Observer Zelith addressed an emergency session of the Guardian Council. "The evidence is undeniable. Humans are the war gods of legend reborn. Their recovery abilities, their endurance, their instinctive combat skills, all match the ancient warnings." He displayed historical texts showing beings anatomically similar to humans laying waste to worlds. "Our ancestors faced these destroyers before. They nearly ended all civilized life in the galaxy." "What must we do?" asked a council member. "Containment is no longer sufficient," replied Zelith. "The humans know. We've been studying them. They will see it as an act of war. We must implement Protocol Omega immediately." Across human space, Alliance communications suddenly went silent. Trade ships turned back. Diplomatic channels closed. Earth's attempts to contact the Alliance Council received no response. On the 7th day of silence, Alliance warships appeared near every human world and colony. Their message was simple and direct. "People of Earth, your species represents a danger to galactic peace. Your biological traits and behavioral patterns match those of ancient destroyers who nearly ended all life in the galaxy. To preserve civilization, you must surrender all military capability and accept genetic modification to temper your dangerous evolutionary traits. Refusal will be met with species containment measures. You have 48 hours to comply." President Harris addressed the people of Earth and its colonies from a secure bunker. "Today, we learned the truth about our place in the galaxy. The Alliance fears us not for what we've done, but for what we are capable of doing. They call us destroyers, war gods in slumber. They demand we surrender our right to defend ourselves and accept alteration of our very DNA." Her voice grew stronger. "We came in peace. We worked alongside them. We shared our strength and endurance to build their stations and mine their worlds. Now they would remake us in their image. Weaker, more docile, less human." She paused, her expression resolute. "We refuse their terms. Humanity will not surrender its essence or its right to exist as nature made us. We have prepared for this possibility. All military personnel report to your stations. All civilians proceed to designated shelters. If the Alliance wants war with the so-called gods of destruction, they shall have it." Across the solar system, hidden shipyards revealed vessels Earth had built in secret. Weapons platforms emerged from asteroid bases. The dormant war gods were awakening. The first attack came at the human mining colony on Phobos, Mars's outer moon. Alliance warships appeared suddenly, firing warning shots that destroyed unmanned equipment. The message was clear: surrender or be destroyed. Commander Samantha Wright stood on the bridge of the Earth defense vessel Defiant, hidden in Phobos' shadow. 5 years after first contact, she had risen through the ranks of Earth's rapidly expanded space force. Now she faced the reality of combat against an enemy with superior technology. "They expect us to give up without a fight," she told her crew. "They believe we value our lives above our freedom. They don't understand humanity at all." The Alliance landing ships descended toward the colony, carrying troops to secure the human settlement. Sensor readings showed a force of 300 alien soldiers, lightly armed for what they expected to be a simple occupation. "Begin Operation Sleeping Giant," Samantha ordered. Across Phobos, hidden bunkers opened. 100 human soldiers emerged, wearing combat suits designed specifically for this moment. Earth had prepared for betrayal long before it came. The Alliance commander, General Thule, led his forces with confidence. Intelligence indicated humans would surrender rather than risk their civilians. His troops moved in standard formation toward the colony center. The first sign something was wrong came when their communications suddenly failed. Then human soldiers appeared from hidden positions, moving with shocking speed. Alliance troops fired their weapons, but the humans kept coming, even when hit. Private Steve Baker took a plasma shot to his shoulder. The pain was intense, but his combat suit injected stimulants and pain blockers. He continued fighting. Alliance soldiers were stunned to see humans continuing to advance despite injuries that would incapacitate their own kind. Dr. Marvin Russell watched the battle from a secure bunker beneath the colony. As Earth's leading expert on alien physiology, he had spent years studying the differences between humans and Alliance species. Now his research was proving its worth. Their species never evolved the fight-or-flight response, he explained to General Martinez via secure channel. They have no adrenaline equivalent. Pain immediately disables them because they have no biological mechanism to override it. On screen, they watched as Alliance troops retreated in disorder. The aliens had never faced an enemy that kept fighting. While injured, their tactics relied on precision strikes to cause pain and surrender. They had no contingency for an enemy that endured. Within 2 hours, the human forces secured Phobos. 300 Alliance troops surrendered, shocked by what they had witnessed. Footage of the battle spread across Alliance communication channels, causing panic. "These humans continue fighting even as they die," reported one terrified officer. "They feel no fear. They ignore wounds that would stop any rational being." In his laboratory on Earth, Dr. Alan Peters studied the Alliance prisoner brain scans. "Their neural pathways are fundamentally different from ours," he told President Harris. "Their evolution never required quick decision-making under threat. They have no instinct for combat stress," the president nodded. "So when they see us pushing through pain or making split-second decisions under fire, it seems supernatural to them," Alan finished. "What we consider normal stress responses, adrenaline, endorphins, heightened focus, are completely alien concepts. Their civilizations developed without major predators or environmental threats. They never needed to fight as we did." Across the solar system, similar scenes played out. Alliance forces, despite their technological advantages, found themselves facing an enemy unlike any they had encountered. Human soldiers displayed capabilities that confirmed the aliens' worst fears about the war gods of legend. On the Alliance. Capital World. High Observer Zillith watched with growing horror as reports flooded in from the front lines. The humans were not only resisting, they were winning. "How is this possible?" demanded a council member. "Our technology is centuries beyond theirs." "Technology means nothing against their nature," Zillith replied. "They evolved as persistence predators. Their bodies produce chemicals that allow them to ignore pain, to focus beyond reason, to continue fighting when logic demands surrender." He displayed ancient images showing humanoid figures standing triumphant over devastated landscapes. "The legends warn that the war gods feel no fear, know no limits, and cannot be stopped by conventional means." On Earth, Dr. Peters made a discovery that changed everything. Deep in the Alliance database stolen during the Phobos victory, he found references to genetic engineering performed thousands of years ago. "They created us," he told Samantha during a secure transmission. "Or rather, they modified primitive humans. Ancient Alliance scientists were developing the perfect soldier to fight some greater threat. They enhanced early humans with improved healing, endurance, and stress responses. But the experiment went wrong." "What happened?" Samantha asked. "The enhanced humans rebelled against their creators. A devastating war followed. The survivors sealed away all knowledge of human origins and established the Alliance specifically to prevent such beings from rising again." Within 2 weeks, humanity had secured all its colonies. Alliance forces retreated to defensive positions, preparing for what they believed would be the inevitable human expansion, the awakening of the war gods, and the destruction of galactic civilization. What they didn't expect was the transmission sent from Earth to all Alliance worlds. President Harris addressed the Alliance species directly. "People of the galaxy, we do not seek your destruction. We defended ourselves against your aggression, but we offer peace. We are not the mindless destroyers you fear. Yes, we are stronger, more resilient, and more adaptable than you, but these traits can protect rather than threaten." She continued with an offer that surprised even her own military advisors. "We propose a new relationship, not one of domination, but of partnership. Your technology and our strength together. Return to diplomatic channels. End this unnecessary conflict." The Alliance Council debated furiously. Many believed the offer was a trick, that humans sought to lower their guard before attacking. Others saw an opportunity to avoid a war they now realized they could not win. Meanwhile, in deep space beyond Alliance territory, automated beacons began activating for the first time in millennia. Something was moving in the darkness between the stars, something that had prompted the creation of human warriors long ago. The true test of humanity's nature, destroyer or protector, was about to begin. 6 months into what became known as the Awakening War, humanity had pushed Alliance forces back across multiple sectors. Despite being outnumbered and using less advanced technology, human forces won battle after battle. The Alliance could not understand how a species with inferior ships and weapons could defeat their carefully planned strategies. Commander Elizabeth Foster led Earth's main battle fleet from her flagship, Determination. Once a history teacher from Boston, she now commanded 30 warships against an enemy that outnumbered her 3-1. Yet she had won 7 major engagements without losing a single vessel. "The Alliance expects us to fight like they do," she explained to her officers. "They plan perfect formations and follow strict protocols. When we do something unexpected, they freeze while deciding how to respond." Her tactical officer nodded. "They fight by committee. We adapt in seconds." Elizabeth studied the star map showing Alliance forces gathering near their capital world of Viridian Prime. "They think we want revenge, that will destroy their homeworld like vengeful gods." She shook her head. "They still don't understand us at all." On Earth, Dr. Alan Peters worked with a small group of alien scientists who had defected when they discovered the truth about human origins. Together in a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, they pieced together humanity's hidden history. "The evidence is overwhelming," said Zilka, a former Alliance historian. "Approximately 50,000 years ago, the galaxy faced an invasion by a species we only know as the Devourers. They consumed all life on dozens of worlds." Alan examined ancient star charts showing systems marked as cleansed. "The early Alliance was losing the war," continued Zilka. "In desperation, they came to Earth and found primitive humans. Your species already showed unusual resilience and adaptability. Alliance geneticists enhanced these traits, creating perfect soldiers." "And it worked?" asked Alan. "Too well," replied Zilka. "Enhanced humans defeated the Devourers but then rebelled against their creators. The resulting conflict nearly destroyed both sides. When peace finally came, the Alliance erased all records of human origins and quarantined Earth, hoping you would destroy yourselves before developing space travel. But we survived," said Alan. "We thrived. And evolved further on your own," added Zilka. "Modern humans possess even stronger traits than the engineered soldiers of the past. You are what the ancient texts call fully awakened war gods, the Alliance's worst nightmare." As Elizabeth's fleet approached Viridian Prime, Alliance broadcasts filled with panic. Their citizens expected apocalyptic revenge from the humans they had tried to contain and modify. Instead, Elizabeth sent a single message. "We come for peace. Talks, not vengeance. Prepare your leaders to meet." The Alliance Council gathered in their grand chamber surrounded by guards. When Elizabeth entered with only 5 unarmed officers, the aliens seemed confused by this show of confidence or foolishness. "You have defeated our forces and stand at our heart," said High Counselor Zelith. "What terms do you demand for our surrender?" Elizabeth smiled. "We don't want your surrender. We want partnership." A murmur of disbelief spread through the chamber. "Your people feared us as destroyers, as war gods awakened to bring death," Elizabeth continued. "You tried to cage us, experiment on us, and when that failed, destroy us. Yet here we stand, victorious, but offering peace. She activated a holographic display showing the ancient star charts Alan had discovered. We know the truth now. We know why we are different from you. We know we were made to fight a war against an enemy that nearly destroyed you all. Zelith's large eyes widened. The forbidden knowledge. How did you— Your own scientists helped us, said Elizabeth. They believed the truth mattered more than ancient fears. And the truth is this: humans were not made to conquer. We were made to protect. She displayed new sensor readings from deep space. Something is moving beyond your borders. The same pattern your ancestors detected before the Devourers came. The enemy that required our creation is returning. For several minutes, silence filled the chamber as the Alliance Council processed this information. Then Zelith spoke. If what you say is true, what do you propose? A true alliance, replied Elizabeth. Not masters and servants, not fear and control, but equals. Your technology and wisdom combined with our strength and adaptability. Together we can face what comes. 3 days of negotiations followed. The Alliance accepted human terms with surprising speed once they understood the alternative was facing the returning threat alone. A new treaty was signed, recognizing human independence and establishing joint defense protocols. As Elizabeth prepared to return to Earth, Zelith approached her privately. There is one thing I still do not understand, the alien said. You could have destroyed us. Your kind endures pain we cannot imagine, fights with ferocity we cannot match. You are the war gods of legend. Why choose peace when vengeance was within your grasp? Elizabeth considered this. Because being able to fight doesn't mean we want to. Being strong doesn't mean we must dominate. Humans can endure terrible things, yes, but we also create art, music, and poetry. We love our children. We dream of better worlds. She looked directly at Zelith. The same traits that make us dangerous also let us choose another path. We feel deeply, love strongly, and yes, fight fiercely when needed. But we decide when to wake the war god inside us, and when to let it sleep. 1 month later, at the edge of charted space, the first Devourer scout ships appeared. They encountered not a divided galaxy, but a unified defense force led by human commanders with Alliance technology. The returning invaders found not easy prey, but a galaxy protected by the very beings created to stop them ages ago. On the bridge of the joint flagship Unity, Elizabeth Foster gave the order to engage. Around her, human and alien crew worked, together with newfound respect and understanding. They wanted gods of war, she said quietly as the battle began. Let's show them gods of protection instead. Across human and Alliance worlds, people looked to the stars with hope rather than fear. The war gods had awakened not to destroy but to defend all life against the darkness. The sleeping giants had risen not as conquerors, but as guardians of a united galaxy. As the first shots fired against the ancient enemy, a new legend began. Not of humans as destroyers, but as the shield that stood between civilization and oblivion, their remarkable nature finally finding its true purpose.